Yes, this lovely Wednesday morning on the discussion segment. If you're just joining us, my name is Ajuluchuku Okabwe.
My name is Nonye Okoye. You're welcome.
And other topic we have this morning for you, we'll be talking about money and power, the price of winning elections in Nigeria. Definitely, we all know that winning elections in this part of the country is a very costly affair, with money and power playing significant roles in determining the outcome of the concept of money politics, which has become deeply rooted in the Nigerian way of doing things. In our electoral system, the highest bidder seems to be the person that holds sway and determines which office he gets to. Should that be the norm? Definitely not. And that's what we'll be discussing this morning. And in the studio, we have
The matitu anyị kpọbata onye ọbịa sonyela anyị ma anyị sụọ sopele dịka anyị si mee ka unu mata na anyị ji tata akwanite asụsụ na omenala anyị bụ ndị Igbo. Anyị wee na-eme ka anyị mata na dịka onye bụ onye obodo a bụ Nigeria, na kamgbe a na-eme nrọpụta mbụ ntuli aka dịka anyị si ekwu ya n'ọnụ Igbo, na ihe na-apụtakarị ife bụ ijikwa ego na ijikwa ike n'aka gị. Ọ na-eme ka onye ọbụla ji ego na onye ọbụla ji ike bụrụ nyanwa na-emeli na ntuli aka niile a na-eme na be anyị. Anyị wee na-asị ọ bụ ihe kwesịrị ekwesị ka anyị rapụ ya ka ọ bụrụzie ka anyị si ebi, ka ọ ghara ịbụzi na anyị ga-ewepụta onye kwesịrị ịnọ n'ọkwa o kwesịrị ịnọ ka ọ nọrọ ya. Anyị wee nwee onye ọbịa sonyegolo anyị iji wee tinye ọnụ na ya bụ isiokwu, Maazị Simon Eze Ofoma, Nwafọ Eze Ofoma. Anyị na-anabata gị n'ụzọ pụrụ iche, na-asị gị nnọọ rinne.
Ndị be anyị, ndị Naijiria niile na ndị na-ekiri anyị, ana m asị unu gee na anyị ntị na isiokwu anyị ji wee bịa n'ụbọchị taa.
Ọ dị mma, ya bụ isiokwu anyị ji bịa nke na-ekwu na money and power. Anyị na-anya ifụ na ihe a bụ okwu dapụrụ n'ọnụ ofu onye chibugolo achị na be anyị bụ former governor Imo State bụ Achikudenwa. Ọ sị that na with enough money you will win any election in Nigeria. Nke ahụ ọ bụ okwu ziri ezi?
Well, that is a bitter truth, if I may put it in that way. It is not proper. It is improper. It is abnormal. But I think that is, we will be running away from the truth if we deny that it is what is obtained at the moment. Makana, but the point, the man was talking from experience. And he has, even the last 2023 election, many of us were a renowned jurist, a renowned legal luminary from the West. Kuluna, effort ni na na-eme mfe na onwego onye ga-win here, and no onye jikarisi ego, and the clear. Even myself, I was annoyed why he should go to that, being a responsible lawyer. Only one they look up to. But eventually the thing happened that way. You saw how he knew, he saw what the plan was. And then he came up, he said it openly. I read it. Many lawyers criticize him. Many of us from this side, we are not. Even myself, I said, even if we knew that that sort of thing will play out, he's not supposed to make it public. Are you encouraging it? But I was so. If you see the quantum of mess that followed the 2023 election up to today, and the man who was at the helm of affairs, who answered the chairman, is still on seat till today. There's some clients, like some people are saying, there are certain things that will happen, just like what is playing out in our National Assembly now. There are certain things that will happen. A responsible and the honorable person will resign we know that you don't want to be, you're a misfit. So that is a bitter truth. It's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation.
Quite unfortunate. At the same time, can it be the level or the bad precedent set by the leaders before the Nachian? You understand now? Because we have the INEC, which is the body that is stipulated to give us the guidelines for each election. But the political elite seems to make vying for political positions very expensive. Now, take into consideration the last general elections where 11 billion was expended by both major political parties, talking about the APC and then the PDP, to the extent that APC sold their presidential tickets for 100 million. Where do you think we lost it? Is it from the people that we appointed into office, or INEC not even setting a template on what should be obtainable in order for us to vie for political offices?
I think, thank you for your question. I think there is a corroboration. Now, if you look at it, both sides are guilty. Because if we have had strong institutions, there are ways to check certain things in a society. But you see that in Igbo they used to say, "Oh, Fumiri na Sunite." The same people, the same attitude towards things. Now, the politicians, just as the question you asked, what was ringing in my mind, I remember vividly when Abiola was rolling out money in this nation. By that time, we were growing. And no man has ever, I've never seen him, even, I remember later Odumegwu telling him that at his age, he knew what he had at that time. He was rolling out money with the hope that he has acquired them. But I remember eventually, I'm not justifying it, but I remember eventually when he was denied the presidency of MPN, that Umaru Diko made it clear. We saw it. That MPN presidential candidacy is not for sale, whereby the highest bidder will buy. That is how he lost out. And he resigned from MPN afterwards because he was rest assured that nobody has spent like him, and therefore nobody will contest with him. But they made it clear to him that it is not for sale, whereby the highest bidder will automatically be the distance. So that is the point. That was when, I'm not saying that was the perfect society, but that was when people had little conscience in following things. If you look at people like them, it was going from bad to worse. Mm-hmm. It was going from bad to worse. And that's what I was calling. If you look at the Shagare, that was the president then. You look at the Kweme, it's not that they were the richest or the most. You see people who have.
So how did the two of them emerge? If they were not the richest, if they were not the most, they didn't have the power too, because we're talking about the combination of power and money. You understand? As a tool in winning elections in Nigeria. Shagari was a former school teacher.
Yes.
Alex Ekweme was an architect.
Yes.
You understand? So these people were politically not even
by them.
Power brokers.
Uh-huh.
But they emerged president
at their time.
At their time, president and vice. Based on how they came up from their party. So now, where did we get it wrong? How come we no longer have people with? Well, I think up until the point where Yaradua was appointed, or rather made, the flag bearer for the PDP. I think that is where we now began to lose it. But what I'm trying to say is it the political party that we should blame for allowing money to dominate what happens? You understand? Or INEC that will sit down.
Or the individuals.
You understand? Or that will sit down and allow people that don't even have credibility, track records, to now come and vie for positions.
I think I've answered it because I was going towards that. When you mentioned the two characters, you will see that I told you it is when people have little conscience. People do things. People pursue, policy and they listen. Now, but going forward, you will see that we started following, and as you said, both the leaders, the political parties, and you mentioned now that a party came up and said that the ticket will be 100 million, 100 million. Many people, I remember the time, okay, let me tell you, I remember the time, late former FEDECO chairman, Justice Obi was accused of taking 1 million naira bribe. So the man who came out from there and he said that since he was born, that he had never seen 1 million naira. And he believed that the day he will see it, he will faint. No, it was in the news.
Emana ana-ekwu ọnwa, ndị Igbo si na ana-ekwu ọnwa, ana-ekwu ibi ya. Anyị na-anya n'ihe gbasara isiokwu a anyị na-ekwu, anyị fụ na ọ dị ka ya sị na ya bụ ihe agafego
nku aka.
Maka na ịbịa nwere ebe ijezi kịta na be anyị na-abụrụ ego wee na-ajụ kedu ihe a na-eme n'ebe ụmụ ntorobịa ụmụaka anyị na-eto eto dị, maka na ịba n'ụlọ ụka ego, ịba n'ezinụlọ ego, ije mitin ụmụnna ijiri ego yara ekwu okwu. So kedu ihe a na-eweta n'ebe ụmụ anyị na-eto eto, kedu ihe ọ na-eme? Maka na akwụkwọ na-ahapụ ya bụ mmiri o gafee ebe o kwesịrị ịnọ, nsogbu ya adịkwa.
If you ajụjụ ya amaka, that was ya wee ebe nna watch ya, if you set bad president, makana like I said, ọ bụrụ na onye si na ya okay amasị a na-asị ndị mmadụ, ndị ezigbo mmadụ banye politics ka ha dozie society, ka ha mee nke a. Otu a nnọkịta mbanye na politics na nchọrọ ịzọ ọchịchị, ime expect na onye nwetara ego n'ụzọ na ọ ga-ewepụta 100 million iji wee zọọ ọkwa. But we think a young man, and therefore, like some of them now in the universities, in the different professions, in law school, in this, which political ambition, that they cannot achieve it without having, they will try to make it by all means. As I was saying, the past regime period, Shagari period. Now, but Adam Soshomel in our period was bold to say, because we are the joining power and the money, to say that immediately you come into APC, your sins are forgiven, which means the ruling party, the party with power. When you come there, then you are assured of making it. You are assured of.
And Achiku de nwana ekwu ihe a, ịma na ọ dị ka mmadụ esi na mmadụ gbara onwe ya egbe n'ọkpa. Maka na o sogugolo chia. Ka nọrọkwa maka na onye chicha in as much as na ha nọzi ha ka nọkwa n'okpuru na ọ dịghị ka ihe o kwuru ọ chọrọ iji ya wee mee onye ka o wee bụrụ ọnọdụ onwe ike iji wee mee ka nya bụ ihe bụrụ ihe a ga-achụ ọsọ ukwu elu ala, ka ọ bụ just ka o kwuo okwu na ọ maara ekwu okwu.
Na ọ dị ụzọ ihe na-abụ, because anọrọ n'obi ọ dị ụzọ ihe na-abụ nwere ike ịkpata ụdị ha. One, ịma na ọtụtụ mgbe mmadụ nwere ike na gaa na court ma ọ bụ even ndị ọchịchị ya, onye gaa na court mee wuruwuru win, ọ sị na ihe a wụ justice, Nigerian judiciary is trying. But ọ bụrụ na mbọsị ofebọghị ya, ọ gwaghị that na Nigerian judiciary was here. So Achike Udenwa, it is possible na onwego ikekwa ebe enwere power play eje out. Then ọ na-agwazi that this is the situation on ground. Then of the other side, ọ bụrụ that he just wants to establish the obvious. Actually, he just wants to not to akita than social mercy, but boldly without shame. That when immediately you come into APC, you become a saint, even if you are a devil. Your sins are forgiven. You will be welcomed into paradise.
From the look of things, is the political electioneering issue with individuals and their parties. What it means is that we are not seeing a credible person character worthy of holding public office, vying for political office in the nearest future. How many people can afford 100 million? How many professors, you understand, can afford 100 million? How many justices that might say that they want to be state governors after retirement or want to delve into politics can afford 100 million? So does it mean that we are in a society where once you get opportunity to power, you grab all the money in order to secure your next election? How then do we have people of the likes of Yaradua, that was once a lecturer, that contested election and won? How do we have the likes of Ekweme, the likes of Shehu Shagari to come into power? Even the so-called labor people to vie into power, because they don't have the 100 million. Do we now start correcting it from the electoral laws that we have here, or do we just come up and say that this democracy is not working for us?
Thank you very much. You know, Asina, sometimes you will not know where to start. Just as you said, let me tell you, it is not even immediately you come into political office, but immediately you have the ambition. And the oil, but this ugly this thing now radiates down this thing. Even in the institutions, even in secondary, what are clear on a secondary school, name ambition, they build ambition. Go try to the other day on the news. What happened in Unizik? A small girl lecturer then you watch here every nook and cranny eagle. We are losing our values. We are losing, people are and now evil student in society, because this is where it seems nothing works, and therefore it is either you make it. So the point is about this also some way, but no only ambition. You mention on my professors, a professor well ambition. Either no practice believe it, or we can go anyhow. Bribe what to become professor, bribe what to make name. Like what is happening around us, we all know about it. Go to make name, go when we can with the future, or we can either now, or we can commission or so. Make a name, so this and that, or even that, yes, because we want to make it by all means.
Oh, the Mabina Oku Yabu Uduaranku. Udenwa, sorry, Kulu. Sorry, I don't know Kulu. Ajulia, see, Nyabuna, onye Diego, will go ma INEC, go police, go army. Or say that no Diego go institution nine. Owe gani ruwesi no bona emero ka ihe akwụsị. Na anyị ga na-agbani kanika ịchọta ezigbo ndị ndu. Ọ ihe okwu. Mgbe na-ajụ kedu ka a ga-esi wee kwanya bụ onye ukwu wala ma ọ bụ ndị be anyị sị kedu ihe ọ dị ka a ga-eme ka a wee nwee ike ihe a bụ ihe a ga-akwụsịnwu ma enebe anya otu o si wee banye sigo n'ebe niile. Ọ bụrụ na akwụsịrị ya kedu ihe ọ ga-eme?
Thank you very much. Well, if we want to face reality, no matter na conscience. That even the system that brought him on board are credible. Clearly. Admitted. And if you look at his system, but the only thing they can demand if all mother last.
Oye ku maka etu odora si wes na obu na emeria na ika ga na achọ n'ezigbo ndị ndu.
Oh ya kan ji na agwa na o nwere ebe ọ ga-abụ ọbụlụ even either where my force ya mohen onye dịka INEC destiny merin keep aza we honorably resign nwekwa na onye ga-abanye n'ọchịchị ọ ga-asị na even though no ya ka etinyere ọ dị ka ụdị mmadụ Yaradua even when you were mentioning Yaradua even Jonathan was decent to a reasonable extent. If you look at people who they were technocrats, they trained, they were human conscience. Jonathan which I he kept it. That his ambition was the blood of any Nigerian. But how many Nigerians how many people natural power? Or follow you? They are ready to kill millions. I'm telling you, I'm not joking. You see, if not for a few days now, even around us here. All these things are happening. One of my uncles said, some of them can down build man secret calls may make political talks. Then man okay, man news my Boko Haram. You make a Bokotande madam to make power by all means. If we feel more in virtual. Obulundin hang with anything. Obulu kidnapping Vaba, Obulu anything Vaba, society and the worst. The same thing, Obuluna say here they say here they and Obuluno, so onye Mujie Gonye power. Onye make clear by Ibugodu mother. Institution, was a decent pattern of doing things. Then, if people will go all out, we do anything to acquire the power, and that is a very bad omen for us in the society.
Well, thank you so much for that submission. Well, at this point, let us go for a short break and then get to feel the pulse of our street parliamentarians. Let's know what their contribution is on the subjects we have discussing here in the studio. Don't go anywhere. The show returns shortly.
I know things are very hard. Things are difficult. Sensible people knows that we need a good leader for us to go far. Okay, take for instance what is happening in Anambra State. Had we missed this governor, Professor Charles Soludo, what could have been happening in Anambra? By now I could have traveled to Canada and leave my children. Imagine, I commend the young man. I'm very happy for him. I believe if we should think twice, we don't need to be told that we should go and plead on him to come back for second tenure. It's true that things are very difficult, but gradually we can reach to where we are going. Let's not, all these elders, we should stop deceiving ourselves. The truth is clear. Everything is written in the handwriting is written on the wall.
To me, I believe how Nigerian political system is working, I think it's true. Yes. Politics in Nigeria is just it's a very bad game in this country. And I don't believe that people's opinion works in terms of these things, political practices we practice here. And we believe that we are doing democratic system of this thing, but it's not even working. Because sometimes people will vote, they will still do their own way based on the money that they are giving out. And even that day, maybe when they are casting votes, you will see people receiving money. You will even see some people standing as an agent, asking people vote for this particular party. You will collect some of 5,000, which is unfair. Because they are deceiving people, they are deceiving what they want, and even deceiving their opinions. So this country, as like here in Nigeria, the practice of whatever they are doing in their political aspect is not working without money. So you must have money. And without the money, nobody will even announce you.
I believe so. I believe in that ideology, that with money, that at least the person has a let's say 70% to gain power to the politics or any political office. At least with money, the person has already acquired like 70%. The rest percentage maybe the connection you have in the political people in the political office. With your connection, you can assume the office.
Now, take like someone that may be a commoner or whosoever. Okay, have you ever seen maybe somebody that is poor contesting for a power in this country? It must belong to somewhere. Some of them even have Godfather. If not, sorry is your name. You know, in fact, they will not even consider you. And like, if you are not speaking what they want to hear, like, which is money, like if you are not offering something, a huge amount, I don't think you are even going for that. So, to me, money is everything. Not only in political aspects, everything in this country, money works. So that is in fact what the man said is true.
And everybody seems to be talking about the difficulty in actually trying to separate power and money. And by the fact that that cannot be separated, it makes it extremely difficult for people with integrity. It makes it extremely difficult for people with track record of doing well to actually find themselves in the corridor of power.
Anyị ga-afụ otu nwatakịrị nwaanyị ị efu na onye anwa ọ bụrụ n'orikazi mana nke a gosi m na ọtụtụ mmadụ nọ na Naịjirịa ma ihe na-emenụ.
Of course.
Maka na nwata nwaanyị ahụ na-ekwu na ilu ebe a na-atụ eme ntụli aka na ị ga-afụ ndị bucha akpa ego na-akpagharị na-ajụ gị etugo ewelu nke gị nye gị etu aka esi na-eme na-akpagharị. Ọtụtụ oge amarọ m eze ofọma ihe ndị a anyị na-afụgasị kedu ka ọ na-adịgodo n'anya na mmadụ o nwere ike ọ bụrụ onye na-akwa ilu uguri ebu inye mgbịrịgba akpa ego ọ bịa n'ebe a na-eme ntụli aka na-ekenya bụ ego.
Ihe bụ mmadụ bụ conscience. Ihe mmadụ ji dị iche na anụmanụ bụkwanụ na mmadụ nwere conscience nwee ihe. Otherwise, you watch here, even Otuchuku si ke mmadụ na ihe. Ị ga-ahụ na o nwere certain acts mmadụ nwere ike ime ma ọ baa n'iwu na ọzọ. But ụmụ nwere ike ime ya. So mgbe ibido mebe otu ahụ anụmanụ kwesịrị anụmanụ si eme. It means, I'm telling you, you watch here, even ị na-ekwu maka na election. Ọgwụ nwere wezụga certain things. Ọgwụ nwere mgbe ọ na-elu na Senate ma National Assembly ma steeti. Enwere ike ị na-eme certain debate. Ebuteba Ghana must go. And I'm telling you, ndị na-azọ honorable members and I struggle to ebetiate kwa as God will have it. O nwere mgbe elotere m third term, elotere m efukwa na o nwekwa ndị God will always have a way. O nwekwa ndị ga stand the firm say na ihe dị otu a na-eme. So that is it. Okay, mgbe mere 1 million naira, mgbe people pụtara si ogori si ebe dị iche iche gaa Abuja jee mee na Abacha ga-esi from Kaki banye ndị befa na-asụ mmanụ ha nata ego gaa Abuja jee machi ya that na Abacha ga-esi na Kaki wee banye Agbada. So that is it, because people have made shipwreck of their conscience.
So it's the case of people have made, or the system, because we need to, streamline this thing, because the system is meant to be the one to correct the people. But where the system becomes so weak and there is no punishment for people that are failing, and then you see even the young ones aspiring to delve into politics, feeling that it's everybody's game, anybody can go in there, nothing will happen to you.
You are correct, the reasonable extent. But look at what I'm saying. Even in that system, can one or two I remember vividly, only the Senate president at that time will say. Now one thing here came on sure that everybody will be given opportunity. Do you think there was a role of 1 or 2 persons? The thing is, because Ghana must go every time. but Ghana must go ebubata. And any assurance that if you allow it, family and which is all the possible. No, again, many foundation.
Mana kedu no ka ga-esi wee kwa onye ukwu walụ maka anyị na-anya n'okwu anwa onye chibugoli Imo steeti Kulachike Udenwa ọ sị na ọ bụ na enwero ihe emelụ gbasara onye bụ ọnọdụ na anyị ga-aga n'iru na-agbanikanika na-achọ ezi ndị ndu mana anyị nwere ebe enwere ọtụtụ ndị bụ ezigbo mmadụ na obodo anyị bụ Naịjirịa hapụọ mba ọzọ ihe a na-eme hapụọ mba ọzọ ihe a na-aga ọfụma so kedu ka a ga-esi wee mee kedu ihe nwere ike ịmalite mebe ka a wee malụ ma ya bụ ọnọdụ ọ ga-abụ ihe a ga-akwụsị
dịka ajụjụ ọjọọ nwa ya kpatara the way mfụlụ a ga-esi menwu ya bụ each and every one of us bido from your corner bido no matter the type of opposition ị na-enwe do not give up. Somebody, I think Roy posted something the other day. And that very autonomous, but all the very interesting. That Indian mean of Uganda. Look at that, Uganda. Now they change Uganda to Idi. Every other person. So you were talking about
actually about that one idiots.
Other person not at the cabinet. Are you telling me that deep in their conscience that they didn't know Islam? But they submitted. But somebody took it upon himself that he will not lie to his conscience. I didn't say that but when he can wear enemies, when threatening this thing. And that is the only way. The people, the price of this thing are that easy. Or that is Nelson Mandela family, what they went through. So, but what that man is to say now, well, diplomacy. See, so that eventually he was.
No more Indians. Idiots.
And the you know that we are not.
We are not idiots.
You are the most, both of us are most intelligent. People, instead of you to say, how come I resign, man? So I don't have any say. So that is what I'm saying. Below from our corner, everywhere in I do not allow evil
to strive.
To defeat when like a darkness in defeat, yeah, right. Come here, sinner, come here, Yablona, Ibu, odd man. That is the only way. Oh, when he came and my younger brother told me something now, village meeting, they came away. If I go to village meeting in Giegona, you walk more quiet. Oh, my brother, my brother said, Mune. No, when he called the common and then I know better one. I got for the kind of surprise, no one will walk here. I got say, Onya. More we even got Potano. I said, and don't want to even get me some way he gave. Only over now, that there is something in this person. And my wife, see, I even some other place, some places he gaga. He can wear enemies. But eventually, getting back in there now 1 or 2 days, those enemies, see, Gavuna, there is this, they start to emulate everything in them. Even when email, if you go to man, they will go and buy it. Malona, now this life, this man, the unique. Who will go see him? Who will even teach me? 1 or 2 or 3 where he peak here. Now, when no one I peak, look at Ayana, peak here, Jonathan, peak here, somebody my conscience.
So how can we achieve this thing when the political elites have made inequality and poverty, you understand, dominate the political landscape? You understand? They've already impoverished Nigerians, impoverished our mindset, increased corruption, thereby, you know, everything. Yes, sir. So where do we begin to harness it? Because only none or chichi that can equally do it. Because we, as you know, as an individual, infrastructural decay. Even some of the place even the election. I was thinking at this place, Kaya 2 election one. You will go there, Imam Fuafagi, but that is the place that you were meant to. I was thinking Afagi put an also. that means you have been disenfranchised. You can't vote in that polling unit. So the whole system, how do we get to correct all of these things?
It will not be as easy something, price. But I'm telling you, with insistence, consistency, the truth, so that's what I'm telling you. But if we are committed, if we are dedicated that things must work right wherever I am, challenge, threatening this, but eventually, so what you said is what I said before, that even the system is so corrupt that unless you are, one saying now say that it is abnormal. It is abnormal to be, it is illegal to be lawful in a lawless society. People now we are not the abnormal to be lawful in a lawless society. But when you continue to maintain, that this is the right thing. But you open the eyes of people. Okay, whoever thought in this nation that what happened in 2023 about the movement, whoever thought now get defeat the current president in Lagos State here, who would have imagined that? It was single-handedly power. What would the former governor? That he's not a good party man. He's not playing the game. He doesn't know the listen. So, but the point is, because
mana kai nekenanya na nke that election equals yardstick. Maka na amakwam na kemgbe emeche nya bụ ntuni aka na ọtụtụ ụmụ ndị ntorobịa mụ na ha kpagoro nkata ụfọdụ si na o nwere ihe ga-emekwa ka ha tụọ ọzọkwa otu aka ọ dịkwa na akụkụ mba ọzọ maka anyị na-anya na ihe melụ mgbe anwa dịka gasị na movement and obi onye ọbụla nwere ebumnobi na ihe a ga-amịta mkpụrụ ndị mmadụ chọrọ maka na ihe a na-ekwu bụ ihe anyị chọrọ na-abụrụ ihe ndị chọrọ so ọbịa dịka a ga-asị na anya bụ ihe na obi ndị mmadụ a na-eweli asị otu a kụwa ya na ọgbawa like that kedu abụrụ m onwe ka a ga-esi wee mekatakwa wee chịkatakwa nya bụ ọ bụ ihe a ajụlụ na-ajụ kedu ebe a ga-esi wee kwaba onye ukwu wala ọnya bụ igbo a ndị be anyị na-asụ kedu ka a ga-esi kwanụ onye ukwu wala maka ọ bụ ụmụ ukwu awagokwa ọwago
mgbe ị na-ekwuru ị na-asị ọ dịka a ga-asị akwuru n'obi ma ọ bụghị ọ dịka a ga-asị na
akụwa gị akụwa
the things fell apart all the clear but the only thing you watch some analysts na radio ha na-asị don't give up. Don't give up. Even more after I started by saying no nwere ebe ọ ga-abụ ọ bụrụ onye aha na ebe a ka mgbe o nwere onye ga-abụ inekwasị anya o nwere onye ọ ga-abụ ị na-afụ na position you will not be happy. I'm telling you. You cannot pretend, especially maka ihe na-adụ ndị na-abụ na mmadụ na sin but you made others to sin. Oh yeah, so one of the things God hates can say in the Bible. Also in the but email can do manonya. So the point is, but we cannot surrender because I am a give up because so mean they give up but my I got survival of the fittest. So but I'm telling you, and you know that now. The power and the money and 10% of the population. So I mean with that unity can achieve even the mama I will try next time. Even with almost see some nations, okay, you watch Arab Spring, watch Ebediji, or what things in a guy will not the normal way. But one person take the Gani rule born or spring ya all. See from one nation, by another. So to anaga. people they're ready to sacrifice their life to change the status quo.
Well, we are waiting for that. I'm looking forward to the person that will actually bear the cat. But now, talking about power and money in winning elections in Nigeria, what happens to the last resort of the common man, which is the judiciary? Because we see in recent time that even the politicians seem to have hijacked the judiciary to their own whims and their caprices. Now, the judiciary is no longer the last hope for the common man. In part of this restructuring that we're talking about, in order to make sure that we nip this power play and money politics, what do we do in order to make sure that the judiciary stand up and own up to their responsibility? These are meant to be the elites. When they talk about academia, you understand, and give justice where justice is actually due. Do we exclude them in these reforms that we are talking about, or how do we go about reforming them? Give a lawyer.
Thank you very much. My uncle said, so I do my worst from it. It is true. But every society, they were a product of also police. People will defend the why nor the system produce police here. So judiciary, as you said, cannot Madam Asenabadi free from. If you know what has happened, Madam Asenabadi free completely. But why I will not blow it to? But sometimes in Manambu so things in this subject to your the angle is in here or your own interpretation. And especially in this nation, a politician got caught now with the okay, we'll go to even happen in some political parties. We'll go to even happen on Apuga and so on and so forth. We'll go to Madagascar. The other day now we were in a lecture in this thing. Dr. Oyechi was giving giving lecture of what is happening now. Otumadu Ghana Supreme Court, bias your opinion, just near the petition against them. So, what this Apuga this thing? Even that now, Otumadu Siga for a long time. Well, something they play no dinner, they misinterpret what was given, and was going with it. Well, your name making them. Even I'm telling you that many people, even the LA, believed that that was the position of, or somebody took it upon himself or upon themselves to follow it up to a logical conclusion, to shame to that person. If you look at what played out between P2B and the Ngige, many people believe before that time. And when all the the president, and when now got possible, now got to member election of one governor of one state. Somebody came up with such a thing happen. I said, not development of the law. Let us not be scared. At least all from the case proper interpretation of the constitutional stipulation that now 4 years from the date we are the chief executive in. But by the time I got long, many people were against P2B. That if you know, there was a news that the Reverend Fathers and so on called him bishops. See, I have to say, both of you are from the same family, this and that. Mercedes car because no so eventually we found the truth, and that helped to develop the political and the law. People Malaysia staggered the election, not since then. So what I'm saying is, yes, judiciary are free, But sometimes even the judges may interpret the proper position of the law.
Onwere ihe a ga-eme judiciary ka ọ dị free in one word maka na anyị enwezi oge.
If I get me can the same system next select the square peg in square hole, because I was trying to round up with this say now sometimes if you watch ụfọdụ ndị na-anọdụ mess up ọ na-abụ because na nna m nọ na epic onwe ike ọ no merit to be there, but because na o nwekwala power play galon ma o nwere onye epic onye atinye and onye abụrụ na ọ bịa money.
Ọ dị mma ọ bụ na ekwube ihe gbasara election na Nigeria anya yara anata maka na anyị nchama malụ na ihe Achike Udenwa kwuru etere aka n'eziokwu ka o kwuru gbasara na ego na ikike bụ ihe na-eweta eji ewe na election na Nigeria. O kwuru ya gbowa iwe kwuo na ọ bụ na akwara onye ukwu walụ na gbasara ya bụ ọnọdụ na anyị ga-agakwa n'iru na agba anịkanịka na-achọ ndị ga-achị anyị ma dịka onye ọbịa anyị si wee kwu n'ụtụtụ a anyị amalụgo na nke a bụ ihe na-eme mana enwere ike nwee ihe a ga-emenwu ka a wee mee ka ya bụ ọnọdụ kawanye mma. Ọ sị na anyị ga-enwe ndidi na-enechukwu anya na-ekpekwu ekpere na ebe ọbụla anyị fụrụ onwe anyị ọkwa ya anyị dị sure na anyị na-eme ihe ziri ezi ọ bụrụ ya mana anyị ma na ego abachago ebe niile mana Chineke ga-enyere anyị aka ofu ụbọchị.
Of course, we need to keep doing the right thing. And for you, the electorate, you don't need to sell your votes, your conscience for peasant money that won't even do anything. So if we start rejecting this money at the point where we are meant to cast our vote, it will send a signal to the people that are bringing this money.
Ọ dị mmadụ alụrụ nne n'ụzọ pụrụ iche Maazị bụ Simon Nwafọ Eze Ọfọma bụ onye ịbụ ndị ọkaikpe daalụ maka oge gị n'ụtụtụ a.
Ndewo.